You come to me softly in dreams at night, beckoning me through the hazy twilight, at the edge of a broken, dissolving dawn, where everything but the dream is gone. The orchestra's tuned for a rock symphony. I'm writing the song to you from me. And all my days, bittersweet and tragic, are blown away in this beautiful magic. Chasing our shadows, outrunning the sun, lacing them up as they come undone. There's a taste to the air not there before, leaving me hungrier and wanting more. And all my days, bittersweet and tragic, are blown away in this beautiful magic. Just blown away in this beautiful magic. The butterfly followed me along the shoreline, a beautiful butterfly of colorful design. How odd, I thought, on a day so hot, that a butterfly would follow the blue water line. It started to flutter to and fro, with every step, each stop and go, mostly drifting on my right-hand side as I walked the shallows of the incoming tide. As the day grew weary and I traveled on, I thought that butterfly would be long gone. But alas, it steadfastly stayed at my side as I walked the shallows of the incoming tide. I walked and I whispered to that butterfly of memories and dreams and days gone by. I was certain it was more than a mere insect, as it seemed to command my deepest respect. And then it hit me out of the blue. Perhaps it was karma and someone I knew. I began humming a familiar song. A hint of your essence sidled along. A beautiful butterfly followed me home. I knew you were here. I wasn't alone. Now each day I walk along the shoreline, my beautiful butterfly, soft on my mind. Between the dark and the night, a dozen helium balloons glide over the glistening bay, above the sails and pontoons that bob and slap and sway. Red and yellow, green and white, they hold my eyes fast, hypnotized. The sun relinquishes its light, imprisoned in twilight's demise. The day falls into night's embrace, succumbs to dark, loses its light. In shame, she hides her guilty face in the charcoal chest of the night. Each twinkling star is a stepping stone, each thought a word, each word a poem, a silent song inside a prayer, an angel's choir leading me there. In this dark, I'm not alone. I'm past twilight. I'm coming home. Between the dark and the night, I finally walk into the light. Called Catchers in the Rye. In a cavalcade of an electric sound scene, the thundering drums cracked the ice of the arena and caught the skaters' blades in the cracks, which made the pros look like amateur hacks. But the people weren't there to see the skaters. They came to hear ELO's showdown daters. The ice turned into a springboard dance floor, and the crowd and the dancers cried out for more. Jeff Lynne stood on Jacob's ladder's top rung. Request upon request was taken and sung. ELO stacked the sound loud and sky high, pitching their songs to the catchers in the rye. The sweet, tough, and mellow Lynne guitar riffs woke up the dead and the freshly stabbed stiffs. Everyone swayed back and forth with the beat. They were grooving down tough and coming up sweet. 2 hours swinging on the moon and the stars and the smacking beat of the rockin' guitars. Everyone floated home on a sky high, knowing they were the catchers in the rye. Crescent Beach heaven. Standing at the point and looking at the pier, I visualize the good old days of my yesteryear. I see colorful speedboats, rowboats, and sailboats, bright red painted buoys and oyster white floats. I see this swimming lesson raft called the Tank, I see my mom sitting on a sandbank. I feel my feet bristle on the sand and sharp stones. I feel the cold water chilling my bones. I see Nancy and me climbing to the high dive board, a lump in our throats as our heartbeats roared. Scared to jump, but more scared to be called chicken. We hit the water first, feet first, came up sputtering and kicking. Proud of our accomplishment, we broke into broad smiles. It seems so long ago and oh, so many miles. I miss those young days and faraway years. Recalling the feelings always brings smiles and tears. The lifeguard tower today is unmanned, in this November rain soaking through the sand. Yesterday's child is today's grown adult. Time's flown and seems shot from a catapult. But my imagination still has yesterday, embossed in gold, and that's how it will stay. I hit rewind in the back of my mind and swim in old memories as they unwind. All time is happening now within timeless time, as I sit here content in poetic rhyme. A part of me will always be lost in yesterday at Crescent Beach Heaven in Semiahmoo Bay. Diamonds, Ebony Sky. Diamonds sprinkled on ebony, twinkling, winking at the moon. The sky stands in anticipated silence, waiting for twilight to crash into noon. And all the while, on a beach, we dream as the sea unravels from the shore's seam. We weave a special magic on the mystic beach beneath the majestic electric firmament, majestic in its cinemascope and vivid reach. A million years from now, we'll still feel the sentiment. And all the while, our essence is realized in love. We are the spirits actualized from above. We are the diamonds, the ebony, and the sky has given us voice and pristine wings to fly. When I was in the hospital, I wrote some very strange poems. Some were normal, some were strange. This is one of the strange ones, and it's called A Night in the Life of a Schizo. Yeah. A closet of dry bones and coat hanger nooses of leather fill the eye of my schizo mind. The closet door whispers and taunts him. Come on, take the noose, you'll need it. Take a couple of shattered dry bone pieces as personal weapons. Yeah, that'll do the trick. The schizo is sure the closet's right. Sure the closet actually has lips to speak in a language only he understands, in a taunting voice only he hears, and he knows it speaks the truth to him, because he is special. He pulls on his hoodie and leather gloves, drops 3 shatters of bone into his pocket, wraps the makeshift leather noose round his wrist, and ventures out into the waiting night, blends in, skulks, comes the dark. He spots his victim, sneaks up behind him, plunges the shard of stiletto bone into the smooth of his victim's neck. Blood spurts, eyes pop, legs crumble, knees crack. 2 more jabs at the neck, and the pavement is painted a glowing maroon. He garrots the leather strap around the gurgling throat. 3 tight pulls, and it's over. He leans down in a bizarre sort of reverence and smells his prey. He kisses the victim's throat and tastes the blood of his kill. He grins widely and wickedly and licks his lips. Buzzing, revitalized, and alive again with the taste of new blood, he heads home with a satisfied mind. Heaven's Sea. A distant water beckons me, close, but still too far away. I lie beneath a tall oak tree and listen as her branches sway. I'd visualize your tears and smiles hazing through the fog and rain, and I would walk 100 miles if I could hold you once again. Inside the hearkening twilight, a lonely whisper beckons me to walk inside the waiting light, to sail with you on heaven's sea. Amongst the lilacs where I lie, I offer them my wettest tears, and all the while the fading sky above me slowly disappears. No need to walk 100 miles to hold you once again. I taste your tears and feel your smiles calling me into the rain. I leave behind my written words, my paintings, and a melody. I shed my flesh to fly with birds and sail with you on heaven's sea, to hold you once again inside this sacred rain. Okay, now this one is one of the strangest poems I've ever written, and I've written my fair share of strange poems. There's no question about that. This one's a good strange one. It's called Jeers and Cheers. And then there were 13 months to make it a baker's dozen year, to make 14 years pass in 13, to diversify seasons with a change of scene. Some found it tough to warm up to the change, especially the cowboys riding the range, but the vast majority of folks were in favor of changing seasons and their brand new flavor. It was strange to see snow in June and July, and a heat wave in December that set a new high. Spring and autumn changes were modest and minimal, and the soft change in colors was almost subliminal. In 13 years, they decided to go back to the old way of 12 months a year as the seasons replay. So for 2 more years, the months were 13 were 13, a start point for the old 3-month season scene. It's funny how big changes meet with resistance. We measure our time and life with such insistence. Now we're finally back to 12 months in the years. The left boos and jeers while the right hoots and cheers. Take me back to yesterday, please, dear God, this I pray, when respect and love and empathy were there for thee and there for me. Just a daydream. In a hospital room on the 2nd floor, I thought I heard a creaking door. The clock on the wall sounded like a bomb, ticking loudly just before dawn. Strange rooms and beds make for strange noises. I'm imagining whispers from strange voices. A burgeoning fear manifests as sweat, a foreboding feeling of impending death. I'd give anything for a Rob Roy sunrise, reflecting the glint in your fabulous eyes, and white sails blowing away from the masts, heading for paradise far from our pasts. Strange rooms, strange beds, and stranger bedhead, I'm starting to resemble the walking dead. I'll imagine I'm drinking a scotch on the rocks, attending Theosophy's School of Hard Knocks. I'm stuck in room 210 on the 2nd floor, but it's just a daydream and nothing more. And I am a daydream and nothing more, dreamed by the dreamer minding the store, a daydream and nothing more. We linger in a quiet silence, nestled in a soft and easy groove, relaxed inside our hearts' incense on the satin back of smooth. We climb the laddered glow of stars to where the muse of music sleeps, inside the kindred notes and bars where a star-crossed lover weeps. We linger in our world of dreams, tethered with the ties of love, tightly sewn with golden seams, blessed by hand of God above. I'll be there everywhere you turn. I will never leave your side. In kindred embers we will burn. Destiny won't be denied. I'm going to read you Line of Separation. There's a moon shining bright and a sun out of sight, avoiding the perpetual showdown. There's a tsunami brewing and a thunderstorm stewing, with no sign of any slowdown. I'm walking inside a cold hard rain that slices my cheeks like a dull razor blade. Fallen branches scattered down the lane, and no sign this onslaught is going to fade. I stare in wonder at nature's mad majesty, the sheer scope of her terror and tragedy. Volcanoes spewing hot lava ash, hurricanes turning cities to trash. Tornadoes and typhoons are no surprise. Global warming is making tides rise. The COVID virus is scattered pell-mell, and the state of the world has gone to hell. I walk through a world of acid rain. COVID runs rampant and causes such pain. I pray for deliverance from this black death, but I'm losing hope and not holding my breath. The plague is upon us, of this I'm assured. It's a bitter vetch given us, roiled and stirred. The line of separation grows harsh and unblurred. Okay, laying soft upon my heart. A glimpse of steel, a flash of train, silent on the endless track. And oh, that I could ride again the rails and not look back. You still waltz across my mind a tender, wistful melody. And in those moments lost, I find the music brings you back to me. We traveled light with heavy hearts and rusty throats that could not sing, victims of our own false starts, dragging winter into spring. I hold a ticket in my hand. The destination is unknown. I've crossed the line drawn in the sand, and common sense has long since flown. But still, you waltz across my mind, a mellow Monet work of art, and in those moments lost I find you laying soft upon my heart. A mellow Monet work of art, laying soft upon my heart. Sailor's Moon. Her heart stretched out across the charcoal night, where stars fade out into a stardust sky. Searching for nirvana in the flesh, the silky satin touch of his caress. She whispered to the lonely sailor's moon as she watched twilight crash into high noon. And all the while she knew his ship had sailed. The pallor of the moon and stars soon paled. Her soul was weary of the rain-pocked streets as rain sped up and poured down in thick sheets. She felt a bitter vetch crawl up her throat. But like a lifeboat, hope was still afloat. She turned her collar to the wind and spoke in prayer and gentle voice that sometimes broke. If there should be a kind God up above, please send me back to that place I called love. With forethought and fortitude, I set my paper to my pen, traversing the fourth realm, measuring my ascent. Imagination locks and doors have flown open wide. I'm riding inspiration's wave on a deep high tide, and all the colors come to me in brand new shades and tones, music strumming fenders and sleek-necked epiphones. Imagination's children are designing new wave toys, and the click of thoughts and guitar strings a rhapsody of noise. I skim the depth and breadth of time as I journey there, climbing ladders of new thought, ascending heaven's stair. A beautiful creation flows through my heartbeat's brush to canvas with a tender thrust and a sacred hush. Steiner's opened up a can of scrumptious exploration to put asunder killing tides and crass excoriation. And I am opened up to receive indoctrination, erasing pagination to free up imagination. In the froth of vivid colors, In the gauze of the fourth realm, standing tall and resolute, is Steiner at the helm. His words and thoughts live on today, crossing through the veil, and on his sea of supersense with him I will sail. Slip siding away on the sail, we will permeate the veil.